So Pokemon Horizons is great. This series has given us some of the best storytelling we've ever had in the Pokemon anime, but I can't help feel that we are lacking a certain something that the older series did better, and that would be battling. So today I'm going to be talking about a possible tournament arc that could really push Horizons to even greater heights. We can probably agree that battling is the most important part of the franchise, and despite Pokemon Horizons excelling in many areas, including story, setup, characters and way more, I think the battling has been slightly lackluster. Not bad by any means, but it's just missing a certain edge. Some of this stems from the fact that Liko and Roy are still fairly new trainers who aren't that experienced in battle, but even when we see someone like Freed battle, it's usually to delay or stop someone rather than actually battle them. We rarely get to see him go full out, and it took 25 episodes for him and Amicio to finally actually finish a battle. Horizons is so focused on its story of finding these 6 hero Pokemon of Lucius, which is a good thing, but I think if they want some downtime from the plot, they could give us a tournament arc. This would really push all of the characters forward. I don't think the likes of Liko and Roy are quite ready yet, but maybe in the short term future we could see this arc. It would bring so many possibilities for the series, including bringing back old characters, but also characters who have already shown up in Horizons, the likes of Kabu and Nemona. It would just give the cast a chance to show off some of their skills and also gain new ones. Pokemon can evolve, learn new moves and just grow in some fierce competition. I think the perfect way to set up this tournament would be to have it just like the Don George Battle Club tournaments where anyone can enter. Freed could come to Liko and Roy and suggest it to them and say it could be a perfect way to get stronger, and then as Dot has come out of her shell more, she could develop even more by shocking everyone and saying she's going to enter as well. Freed will also enter, which of course could be a little unfair to the others, but we've got to see some Freed action. I thought Nemona returning to enter would be really cool as well, since we haven't seen her in a while, and she was kind of set up as a recurring character I thought, so I'd love to see her interact with everyone again. Also threw in Kabu. I think he would be a good test for Roy to have a proper battle with this time. They did have a battle previously, but I don't think Kabu was really going all out, so we could maybe get a rematch where Roy grows even stronger. It would be great to see some older characters maybe return to add some breadcrumbs of continuity, and I'd love to see some of the explorers enter in just to see really where their allegiance lies and set up some future development. But for fun, let's do this bracket and see what sort of matchups we can create. So for the round of 16 we have Roy versus Murdoch. Roy slightly edges this one with his Fuecoco, as Murdoch seems distracted worrying about Dot rather than concentrating on the battle with Rockruff. Liko versus Molly. Liko ends up winning this one with her Hatena against Chansey. Molly was reluctant on entering this one, so she doesn't fare too great. Amicio versus Spinel. 2 of the head Explorer admins end up face to face here as Amicio goes up against Spinel. Their rivalry is shown off, but Amicio ends up taking down Umbreon with his Cerulege. Spinel quickly leaves after making a snarky comment. Dot versus Ludlow. Quaxley takes on Ludlow's Quagsire and seems to be getting beaten pretty badly, but Dot manages to turn things around, and then Ludlow, despite being kind of in control, ends up forfeiting and giving Dot some wisdom to take into the next round. Tournaments just aren't Ludlow's thing. Freed versus Diana. A different kind of test for Freed here, as he goes up against the experienced adventurer Liko's grandmother Diana. She uses Arcanine and Freed uses Charizard. It's a tight battle, but in the end Freed was just too much for her, but it was a unique battle that tested Freed and even got him a bit excited. Nemona versus Mitchell. A short and sweet battle here, as we have Murdoch's cooking rival Mitchell returning. I liked him and I'd love to see him be a returning character, but Nemona just destroys this dude with her Pamwat, taking down his Appleton. Kabu versus Wakaba. The gym assistant versus the gym leader here. Kabu was shocked that she entered as she didn't tell him, but he quickly shows her just how far she has yet to come if she wants to get up to his level. Kabu uses Centiskorch, who takes down her Carkol. And then we have Iono versus a mysterious trainer. Iona entered the tournament to gain more followers, but to also try and battle against her rival Dot for a bit of fun, but she doesn't quite make it that far, and this hooded mysterious figure just destroys her Bellibolt with his Gengar. He shocks the crowd and starts earning quite the reputation. Moving on to the quarterfinals, we have Liko versus Dot. This battle is really close and just a great show of how far these two have come. We see Sprigatito versus Quaxley, and Sprigatito surpasses its limits and evolves into Florigato and wins Liko the battle, sending her into the semi-finals. Amicio versus Freed. It's not a tournament without this famous matchup. Finally in an actual official battle they can go all out. Freed brings out a new Pokemon being Absol, while Amethea uses Corviknight, a brand new matchup for these two, and it's fierce as usual, but in the end Freed manages to overcome it. Kabu versus Roy, a massive battle for Roy. He pushes even harder this time against Kabu and Center Scorch. Fuecoco endures for as long as possible, but in the end, despite putting up a good fight, he just wasn't strong enough to take down the gym leader. This upsets Roy but pushes him to train even harder as a battler. And then we have the mystery trainer versus Nemona. And finally Nemona brings out the big guns here. She uses a Dunsparce, which seems to aggravate the other trainer a little bit, but he keeps his cool and his disguise intact, and he brings out a Melmetal that seems to shock everyone watching, as it's such a unique Pokemon. This battle is fantastic and they both push each other's limits, but in the end the mysterious trainer takes it with a double Iron Bash. And finally onto the semi-finals with some huge matchups. We have Liko versus Freed, and this is just a mismatch from the get-go. Liko uses her Florigato and Freed uses another new Pokemon he caught, and that is Finizen. They haven't had much time together, so Freed doesn't seem at the top of his game. Liko does a pretty good job to last as long as she did, but in the end she is no match for Freed and his experience. And then we have the mysterious trainer versus Kabu. We hear the hooded figure talking with excitement. He says that he never got to face the Galar Gym challenge, so he can't wait. Kabu brings out his Center Scorch while the other trainer brings out a Squirtle. Kabu seems confused that he's using a first stage starter in this battle. He does have the type advantage, but it was still strange, but Kabu quickly remembers not to underestimate his opponent. This was a great battle with Squirtle being really evasive and using a unique type of Hydro Pump where it goes back in its shell. It dodges a Fire Lash and the attack ends up coming towards the hooded figure, completely destroying his outfit, and it's none other than Ash Ketchum, the world champion himself. The whole stadium is shocked, but Freed reveals that he knows Professor Oak and he called in a favour to get some up close battling from the world champ himself. He thought it would be a great experience for the kids. After this, Kabu smirks to himself and Squirtle ends up winning Ash's battle with Hydro Pump. So the final battle is of course Freed versus Ash. This is a battle that everyone is hyping up. The fans in the stadium are cheering. It's about to be the battle of the century, and everyone is shocked when they both bring out Pikachu. It's a battle of electric mouse Pokemon, a perfect way to wrap up this arc. Neither of them have used their Pikachus in this tournament so far, so let's just see who is the stronger Pikachu. This battle shows off the different moves for these two. We see Ash using his classic Electro Web to delay Freed, and we see the return of Volt Tackle, which really takes Ash back to his Sinnoh days. Ash is really impressed with how strong this Pikachu is, but it is not the strongest Pikachu around, as Ash defeats Freed with some quick thinking by using Thunderbolt to destroy the battlefield, and then take out Cap in all the confusion of rocks falling with one last Iron Tail. But after the battle, Freed hints that Cap wasn't going all out, and he probably could have pushed himself a bit more, leaving a rematch on the cards. And there you have it, Ash Ketchum has returned and has taken over Horizons. Of course this is never going to happen, but this was really fun to talk about, and that mysterious trainer doesn't have to be Ash. It could literally be any returning character to link to the continuity. This arc would be more so for the Horizons characters to grow. Seeing little moments like Sprigatito evolving and Roy battling Kabu would just be so much fun. But damn, how cool would it be to see the likes of Melmetal and Squirtle being brought out by a hooded figure that we all knew was Ash. It would just be so damn hype. But this turned into more of a fanfiction than an actual Horizons video. But I think there is a lot of potential for a real tournament to take place in Pokemon Horizons. Let me know what you think, what sort of matchups you would want to see, and how could a tournament benefit this series. But that's it for this one. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.